to get us underway as well. We are set to go from Perth. The West Coast Fever looking to extend their unbeaten start to the 2015 ANZ Championship. Switch pass. Shea Brown. Oh, nice touch pass there coming from Medhurst, getting Bassett an early toucher as well. Confident start then for the Fever, just what they were after. Chatfield. Bailey. Brown called for the infringement. Robinson. Tegan Phillip, a little undecided. Oh, active hands, great job. Terrific work initially there from April Letton, but they get it back to Bailey. She's short-armed it. The fans getting excited already.
Well, that's exactly what Erin Mikado has been brought into this side for. That's with her height to get up and take those rebounds. They're far and few between in this competition. That's a big win early for the Fever. And Letton to restart. Brown gets it from Watts. Medhurst. And they get it to Bassett again with a good look. So a promising start. Bassett, all encouraged to lurk back there with the pass. It was an intelligent one, and she scored the first 3 goals of the game. Well, this intensity is right up from the get-go. It's almost been played at finals pace at the moment. Who will be able to last the length of this? Well, another great read from Mikado. Just worked her feet around Bailey. Well, they've coughed it up on this occasion. Maloney to restart for the Vixens. A little shell-shocked here at the moment. 2 minutes played. It's 3-0 in favour of the Fever. Bailey, skip pass. Robinson. Jane had to just pause with the pass, but it comes to Bailey. Brown caught behind. And good defensive pressure coming from the Fever here. Well, Bailey works into an opening now and gets the first score for the Vixens. Well, Matt Robinson there finding the Fever's eyes down defensively and just that quick ball in. She's very clever with the ball. Bassett onto her range. Actually wants to go to Brown. Did well to reel that in. Medhurst. Nice job. Her first goal in the game. Well, John, interestingly to note, Fever haven't actually lost a first quarter so far this season. That's a good, strong start from them and another pick-up. They certainly have set the scene early. McCarty. The pass is a little difficult. One to reel in there for Ash Brazel. Now it opens up. Watts, Medhurst. Bassett. Pass wasn't a good one. Showed a little too much of it to Mentor. And the Vixens get an important stop here. There's Watson for Maloney. Robinson on the charge. Needs help provided by Chatfield. Now Phillip. Staying there patient. Again, good pressure from the Fever. Got a piece of the action there, Ash Brazel, just deflecting it out of court. Well, the Vixens being forced to just work that ball around. Probably have been a little bit impatient early, so, gee, Brazel's come to play today. Presenting all types of problems at the moment for the Vixens. Bailey, good catch at full stretch. And again, you just see how composed under this early pressure Bailey is. Great target. They've just got to find the right feed, the Vixens. Little over 4 minutes played. Good start of the game for the Fever. Medhurst looking for her second. Back to a 3-goal advantage. Phillip needs to retreat past it. Chatfield had too much on it. Here come the Fever again. Well, this time the pass a little wayward from Shea Brown. Just on a different wavelength there for the moment with Medhurst. Well, you can just see the game, John, being played at such a high pace. And it's those moments in that transition where either side just needs to settle, almost take a breath and just find the correct pass. Pass from Maloney intended for Chatfield, recovered by Mentor. Nothing on for Liz Watson.
Robinson did well there at full stretch. That's better ball movement. Phillip has to retreat. Maloney is Watson. Oh, taken away from it. Brazel. Got a hand on it.
Well, this is the best start we've seen Ashley Brazel have so far this season. And you feel like she's almost just been building into this wing defence role. Tends to swap at half-time. Gee, she's having impact early today. Will she change?
Medhurst gets it from Brown. Bassett did well there. That's 4 out of 4 for Caitlin Bassett, and they lead by 4. Chance to expand on this lead as well. 5.5 minutes played. Opening quarter action from Perth, and the Fever 6-2. Medhurst. Oh, good pass from Watts. Infringement called on it.
Well, this is an important moment now for the Vixens. That's early score. They would be really unhappy with that. Just haven't been able to find much touch on the pass right through the court at the moment.
Bailey, long way from home. Robinson and Phillip exchange passes. Gain good defensive pressure, but Bailey works a little closer. Block shot, April Lenton.
Wow, gee, how impressive was that? It was on the second jump, John. It's one of the hardest things to do in this game, particularly against someone that's probably 5, 6, 7 centimetres taller than her.
Watts for Letton, now Brazel. Just lost sight of it there, Shea Brown.
She is number 1 for pickups in the competition. That's why.
Robinson gets it from Chatfield. Phillip, close quarters back to Robinson. Well, this is hard work for the Vixens, though. Tegan Phillip rejected. Oh, great defensive work from the West Coast Fever all over the Vixens at the moment. Again, doing a good job to reel that in. Shea Brown had to go and retrieve it. Brazel for Brown. Is Medhurst. Watts to Bassett. Touch pass. Bassett against Mentor. And works it to the advantage of Medhurst, who from close range extends the lead to 5.
Well, it doesn't get any better than this start from the Fever, and almost on cue you'd expect that.
Robinson. Good hands from Brown again there, just denying the pass intended for Liz Watson. Brazel gets it back from Medhurst. Brown. She too needs help. Brazel provides it. To retreat momentarily. Now they look for Bassett. With Watts working it to her, and Bassett's a perfect 5 from 5.
And what beautiful movement from Caitlin Bassett there. Posted up and couldn't quite get free from Mentor, so she used some movement, was opened up on the baseline, successful.
Goalkeeper obstruction.
Oh, the margin out to 7. What a start from the West Coast Fever.
Well, another win for the Fever. Contact by Karen Bailey. So another opportunity for the Fever to extend their lead. Would be the best start they've ever had against the Vixens in history.
Well, the Vixens haven't scored for 5 minutes. Mentor with the intercept there. Knocks it to the advantage of Maloney, who now gets it back from Liz Watson. Chatfield, Robinson, double team. Phillip uses Liz Watson. Active hands again from Ash Brazel. Just couldn't work it to the advantage of Mick Carriere. But they are all over the Vixens at the moment. Phillip restarts. Liz Watson, nice pass to Bailey. That's as good as they've looked so far.
Well, as expected, that battle between Brazel with the ball now and Robinson proving to be an absolute beauty, and almost the game could be won and lost just in that very position.
Contact goalkeeper.
Medhurst goes to Bassett.
Obstruction, goal defence.
Back to a 7-goal advantage as Liz Watson restarts to Phillip, retreats to Chatfield. Now Robinson gets involved and forced to work very hard by this smothering West Coast Fever defence. Phillip, well, Bailey zigged when she was supposed to zag. They've tossed it out of court and the Fever get another stop.
Well, the Fever are just showing sheer discipline. They're obviously following a distinct game plan by Rosman. Every player is applying arms over pressure. No one being called for obstruction, so they're building pressure on their opposition, and it's forcing the Vixens into their own mistakes.
West Coast Fever finished 9th last year, and the Vixens were the champions. Be forgiven for expecting it was the other way around at the moment. Look at this dominant start, a little over 4 minutes out from quarter time. 10-3, the Fever lead it. And yet to miss. That's at a perfect 7 of 7. This is Watts. Medhurst wanted it, getting some treatment from Mentor as well. Slow to get back to her feet.
Fever yet to miss a goal. Medhurst 3 from 3, Bassett 7 from 7. And a chance again, another opportunity now for the Vixens. And this is, they really need to settle here, the Vixens. This is, I mean, it's a long game ahead, but these are really danger signs early on.
Game high, 8-goal lead so far. It's been largely one-way traffic. Good job from Phillip there. Brazel called for contact on Robinson. Phillip from in front, and she comes up with her first goal of the game.
And a chance now for the Vixens just to get a little bit of momentum here. Their movement for the ball, the Vixens just need to be a little stronger at that ball. And that's better work from Robinson.
And Phillip rattles around the rim at tumbles. They get back-to-back goals for the first time in the game. Margin is 6. Medhurst uses Brown athletically into the corner. Mentor read that very well, got a piece of it, and enough to work it onto an opponent and out of court. Starting to find a little bit more rhythm now. The Melbourne Vixens, and needed to. Maloney gets it from Phillip.
And this is the area that they're actually struggling with. Across this transverse line, defensively for the Fever, just forcing Watson and Robinson off the circle edge. Still unable to find clear access.
Bailey with another opportunity. It's short. April just drags down the rebound. Micader working for it. Brazel, good ball movement. Medhurst to Brown. Shut down by Maloney, but Watts was left alone, and Medhurst down on the goal line makes no mistake.
Well, Medhurst just doing some beautiful drives along the baseline. She's really drawing the defender's attention.
Vixens trail by 7. Chatfield surveys her options. Robinson at close quarters, getting plenty of treatment from Brown, who forced the error there. Letton comes up with it. Brazel, Micader, they combine. Medhurst and Brazel again. Getting lots of touches. Brazel, Brown, Watts, Medhurst. They look inside. Bassett had it knocked down by Chiva Mentor, doing a great job defensively under an avalanche of possession coming her way. Chatfield looking long, nothing on offer. Here's Tegan Phillip. Robinson gets it from Liz Watson. And again, they're forced to work hard around the circle. Bailey, good position down low, and from close range gets the job done.
Well, it was a long way home for the Vixens. So many passes to have to eventually find Bailey. That's just what you call patient netball.
Well, the pass for Jones. Wasn't quite expecting it. They've coughed the ball up. Concluding stage of the opening quarter. Ash Brazel giving Robinson plenty to think about at the moment. Watson, slow pass picked off by April Letton.
Oh, gee, that's a tough one. We were sitting right on that, John.
Well, the pass intended for Bailey, a little askew.
Oh, you just wonder whether that's a little bit of karma coming back there for the Fever.
Well, the Vixens are going to be restricted to their lowest scoring first quarter of the season. It has been a tremendous opening quarter from the West Coast. To Adelaide by 2 goals back in round 4. Had the bye last week. They're playing like they're a little rusty at the moment. Bailey, terrific pass to Phillip. And they've changed the role there and they get the result they were after, Sue.
Yeah, Karen Bailey moving out to goal attack with Tegan Phillip in at goal shooter. So an immediate switch being made by the Vixens. Just to catch the Fever off guard and see how they respond.
Damage contact.
Katie Price was listening in with the Fever during the quarter-time huddle. Katie, bring us up to date.
Yeah, it certainly was. The message from Stacey Rosman was just to maintain that discipline, and she's laid down the challenge to the Fever girls to actually build their lead during this quarter. In her words, they are not going to fold, so respect the competition.
Well, certainly, the Vixens grabbing some momentum here at the moment. They've scored the last 3 goals and 5 of the last 6 bracketed across quarter time. Mikael, great hands from her, just bats down the pass. The Vixens will reset.
Well, it'll be interesting to watch how Letton and Mikaere take on the challenge of this mix, and just watching then, once the goal is entered back into the circle, they immediately switch. They can't contend with it off the centre pass with that height difference.
Fever need to steady the ship here. Vixens have scored the first 3 goals of the opening here in the second quarter. Watts a little undecided, went for Bassett, couldn't handle it. And the Vixens will come up with possession. So they've really turned it around since quarter time.
Well, they're a champion side and they will be filthy at themselves with that first quarter. A lot of it being their error and a lot of it just being the intent of defence from the Fever.
Phillip, a lob pass to Bailey. Letton on the retreat.
Goal defence. Contact. Vixens.
In the first 2 minutes, it's 4-0 in this quarter in favour of the Vixens. And with the centre pass.
Well, interesting then, you just saw that Tegan Phillips been put in that role to try and expose Mikaere's height, and by doing that movement, well, she read that beautifully. I think they've forgotten how long her arms are.
Long pass for Letton. Gets it back from Watts, Medhurst, Bassett. Can operate a long way from the goal. Brown for Bassett. Mentor from behind, called for contact. Bassett couldn't get it over the front of the rim. First miss of the game for the West Coast Fever. Here's Robinson, did well there to reel that back in. Bailey on the retreat to Chatfield.
Well, gee, that was an interesting one, and I'm glad our camera work got that. Well done, boys, because Robinson and Brazel are having an absolute feisty affair on the court. And Robinson caught there for pushing Brazel out the way.
Medhurst tried to thread the needle to Watts. Liz Watson got a piece of it. No, she didn't. Vixens force the error, will come up with possession. Fever yet to add to their quarter time tally. They played a tick over 3 minutes here in term number 2. Maloney gets it from Liz Watson, uses Chatfield. Robinson working overtime there against Brazel. It's a great contest.
Well, 2 of the greatest athletes on the ANZ court in Robinson and Brazel.
Fever get an important stop, but they need to add the other end. Robinson called for the contact there on Brazel. Mikaere will restart. Brazel. It's it back from Jones. Now it's Watts from Medhurst. Watts gets it to Bassett, close quarters. And Bassett misses from close range. It's taken more than 4 minutes, but they get their first score of the second quarter.
Well, no doubt that Vixen switch certainly caught Fever off guard, but a time now for Fever just to settle. 2 goals in a row and just get that momentum back, even to balance, because it's all the Vixens at the moment.
Active hands from Chatfield, knocked down the pass from Brown, intended for Medhurst. She's got it back again. Bailey on the move, had to be brave and was. Watson, excellent pass just beyond Mikaere.
Tegan Phillip on the goal line comes up with a finish.
Well, best period of play there for the Vixens. Bailey, how strong was she out front? Because most would expect to see not as much movement, but she's a really good mover, Karen Bailey. Won't be a stranger at all once sitting in that goal attack role. She's played there plenty of time. Look at that for Phillip.
Oh, the Vixens are on fire here in the second quarter. Back to a single goal, the difference. We started this quarter just 5 minutes ago with the West Coast Fever leading by 6 and dominating. Mentor call for the contact. Likewise, Chatfield. Bassett's gone off the boil here. It's all changed dramatically since quarter time.
Well, you just feel like Mentor might have got into the head of Bassett in this second quarter.
Phillip uses Robinson. Now they work it to Bailey in good position. They tie it away.
Well, great start from the Vixens and almost again on cue, John. That injury time going for the Fever.
Dawson on the court.
Well, athletic work from Shea Brown as well to win it back for the Fever. That's why we pay Sue the big bucks, Katie. Talk about finger on the pulse there. Medhurst looks up, confronted by the long arms of Chatfield. Now look for Bassett, taps it to her own advantage. Nice finish as well.
Oh, that little timeout, a chance for Caitlin Bassett just to settle. She's missed those 3 in a row.
Oh, the pass, a wayward one, picked up by Liz Watson. Chatfield for Watson. Now Mentor for Maloney. Not a lot on offer. Medhurst call for the contact on Chatfield. Liz Watson with it now. Maloney found some space. Robinson draws contact from Watts. Very busy at the moment. Robinson wants to be involved in everything. Now the pass is wayward for Bailey. Did a good job. Try and keep it alive, but it's a West Coast Fever ball.
And Jans Dawson straight into the thick of things. He would have been sitting on that bench eagerly awaiting an opportunity, and it comes to her.
Well, the Vixens have just upped the ante here in the second quarter to see if the Fever can go with them. 1-goal game after we started this quarter with the Fever in front by 6. As Watson gets after it, retreats though to Chatfield. Phillip.
Oh, great footwork by Josie Jans there. She just forced that feed from Phillip in to Bailey.
Contact wing defense. You can come to get a wing attack. Contact centre.
Oh, nice strong hold from Watson around the circle edge.
Not a lot on offer. That was good defensive work, but eventually they get it to Bailey from close range. Tied away at 14. Robinson and Phillip combine. Bailey joins in as well. Phillip works the goal line. Vixens looking to take the lead for the first time in the game.
Oh, it was a beautiful shot from Tegan Phillip. Long arms of April Letton. She stepped back, found the middle of the ring.
Medhurst gets it from Brown. On the move to Watts. Now Medhurst looking for her first goal. No, decides to go to Bassett. It was a poor option. Brown almost wins it back, coming in over the back of Watson illegally.
Well, that's a win to Jiva Mentor there. Her pressure over the ball just forcing the indecision from Medhurst. And Jiva Mentor really starting to have some impact in this quarter for the Vixens.
Phillip. And they've turned a 6-goal deficit into a 2-goal lead here after 9 minutes of the second quarter.
Contact goalkeeper. Where you are, goal shooter.
And starting to get a little bit untidy now from the Fever. The Vixens starting to find some rhythm in their game. See, all of a sudden, there's almost just like a bit of composure that set in for the Vixens.
Phillips scored the last 3 goals of the game. The Vixens combined the last 4.
They enjoy a 3-goal lead. Bassett has to retreat. Jones, not a lot on offer. Medhurst in a confined space, went between the legs of Bassett. Medhurst came up with it. She's everywhere.
Well, I'd love to know the last time Caitlin Bassett received a bounce pass at her ankles from a player in her own team. Might be chatting to Medhurst about that at half-time. A little bit too high to get down there.
It was a set play from that Medhurst. She was working it to her own advantage, just scurry around the legs and get the loose ball and then knock down the goal.
Classy.
Tegan Phillips been very impressive here in this quarter. She's now scored the last 4 goals for the Vixens. Remembering the Vixens at one stage, and they trailed by as many as 8.
Contact goal defense.
Bassett. Two-goal game in favour of the Melbourne Vixens. Looking to not only snap the Fever's unbeaten start of the season, but claim the Challenge Trophy in the process. Here's Watson, Phillip. Active hands from Letton there, just denied them the passing lane, and Bailey can't handle it. Again, good pressure from the Fever.
Well, the footwork of Jans and Letton in that circle has improved significantly this season already. Just their ability to work around the player, almost throwing some deceiving movement, makes it very hard for the Vixens feeders.
Brazel, Letton at close quarters. Medhurst needs help, provided by Shea Brown. Now Bassett operating a long way from home. Medhurst overdue. Nice finish.
And look at that, Mitch Brown, a very happy boy. He'll be pretty pleased with his wife's beginning to this game. Had a brilliant first quarter, Shea Brown.
Back-to-back goals from the Fever for the first time. And they catch a break there. Bassett's shot is short. Chatfield called. Back on level terms, 18 apiece. Already one draw in round 6 of the ANZ Championship. The start of the season littered with drawn games. Not to everyone's liking. Where do you sit, Sue?
No, look, hard to watch. Yeah, draw's a draw, you know. At least you come away with the point, but it's bring the excitement in this year's competition, even with those draws. I'll go with them.
So the Fever looking to prize open the defensive work from the Vixens. Watts to Bassett. Nice pass. Good movement as well. Intelligent work from Medhurst. Who adds the finishing touches.
Well, it's taken a while for the Fever to settle in this second quarter. Full credit to the Melbourne Vixens. Their defence has stepped up, and this attacking combination has certainly given some question marks to the ability of the Fever to cope with it. Oh, beautiful feed from Robinson.
Vixens retake the lead here inside the last 2 minutes of the first half. Bassett.
Obstruction, goal defense. Obstruction on the landing. Arms still up.
I think the Fever fans have got their hearts in their mouth at the moment when Caitlin Bassett's taking that shot. It is one of the toughest battles she comes up against in this championship, which is against Jiva Mentor.
As Watson and Phillip combine, pass intended for Robinson. Goes askew. It was last touched by the Fever. Fans don't like it. It was deflected out of court. The Vixens with a chance inside the last 60 seconds.
First ball contest, and that's a win for Shea Brown. Intent for the ball.
Fans loving it. Brown for Letton and getting it back. Medhurst and now Bassett present. Watts.
Contact, goal defense. Just there.
Just on 30 seconds remain until half-time. Medhurst dumps it for Bassett intelligently, and the Fever retake the lead.
You almost get the feeling that Shea Brown's out there playing for more than just herself today. Of course, she wants the Fever to win, and after the weekend with Mitch and the injury, you get that sense she is really out there proving a point.
Bassett getting some treatment from Jiva Mentor as well. Bassett hits 3 in a row right at the end of the first half. They're the reigning champs. We're coming to Perth and we're not leaving without a win.
Well, they've come off a bye, and you just wonder whether that bye sort of put them to sleep in the first quarter. It may have had some impact. It is tough, this competition, played at such a high intensity. And it's a long trip over here, but they certainly warmed up in that second quarter, and I guess that just sets the scene for a blinding third from both of these teams, just the way this competition should be played.
Almost set to go here. Liz Watson. The restart proceedings for the Vixens. Jiva Mentor, Caitlin Bassett enjoying a great tussle at the moment. Bassett 14 of 17. Nat Medhurst 8 of 8. So far.
Medhurst been very impressive. Certainly had a solid first quarter, the way her movement was in drawing defence. Probably quieting down a little bit in that second quarter. Just be interested to see what both teams do in this third, how they adjust. Already I can see on court, Phillip and Bailey have switched again. Back to their starting familiar positions.
Well, the Fever scored 4 of the last 5 goals going into half-time. Can they maintain that momentum, or are the Vixens going to lay it down to them? Bailey, not confident, but gets the job done. Brown, April Letton, close quarters. Watts, back to Letton.
Great drive by K.O. Watts to hit the circle edge there. That's what the Fever need to continue to do to find Bassett. And interesting to note, this has been the first week from memory this season that both Shea Brown and Ashley Brazel haven't made the change. I think we're so used to seeing that switch at half-time. Stacey Rosman opting to stick with her starting 7 lineup.
So Phillip from good range. Drains it. A 1-goal game for the Fever. Brown. Watts, Medhurst. Bassett being denied the ball at the moment by Chatfield, so they went it back to Medhurst, worked down to the goal line, and comes up with the finish.
Kaya Watson, Medhurst combining well to find the circle edge on both centre passes. It's an area for the Vixens to keep focus on.
Well, Phillip worked into some space there intelligently. Not the front though, couldn't finish it. April Letton can't keep it alive though. The Vixens will get another chance. Court restarts. Ash Brazel everywhere, just giving Robinson plenty to think about.
Contact ring defense. Guys, contact centre.
Here's Watson. Phillip again, nimble, creating some space, which is up the front of the iron. And the Fever with a chance here. Chance, Dawson, Brown, Brazel, Medhurst presents. They slow it down to Letton. Medhurst involved again.
Defense holding. Really well when you attack.
Watts, Bassett, an exchange passes. Much better from the Fever than what we saw early in the previous term, because they've scored 3 of the last 4 goals here to lead by 3. Bassett, a little unbalanced, makes no mistake.
Well, Medhurst and Kaya Watts again combining beautifully to find that circle edge quickly. That's where the Vixens were able to improve. And Brazel comes up with the win there. I thought that's where the Vixens stepped up in the second quarter, just defensively working the Fever off the circle edge. It wasn't as easy to get there. Of course, now, at the start of this third quarter, you've just seen great movement by the attacking dynamite duo of Watts and Medhurst.
Basil restarts. Finds shape round against Watson. On the retreat, Watts again athletically. Medhurst. And Maloney getting a hand in the action there. And it's a West Coast Fever ball. And off the ball, Chatfield called for impeding the progress there of Caitlin Bassett. Got off quickly, couldn't convert, gets her own rebound though, and extends the lead to 5.
Well, are we likely to see another repeat of the first quarter?
It's shaping that way, isn't it? Caitlin Bassett scored the last 3 goals here. The Fever have scored the last 4 and look to extend it. That's 5 without reply. So a 6-goal advantage, with the Fever dominating the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. Bailey to Phillip.
Contact goalkeeper.
Contact called there on Jance Dawson. Phillip's shot was very short, but she makes amends.
Just watching this now off this attack. That driving cut from K.O. Watts has really been beneficial for the Fever in this opening quarter. And you get the distinct feeling the difference has been just ability to hit circle edge cleanly. Find Caitlin Bassett. It just puts less pressure on Bassett. The more Mentor gets a look at Bassett, the harder her job becomes.
That's 20 goals now for Caitlin Bassett in this game. She's been averaging 47 3 times 50 or more this season. In outstanding form. Liz Watson couldn't find Bailey. Was patient. Got it to Phillip. Under all sorts of pressure. Comes up with a finish.
Well, it was a beautiful feed from Watson. They found Phillip along that baseline quite nicely.
How are the Fever travelling? Let's find out. Katie Price standing by with Stacey Rosman, their coach.
Thank you very much, John. Stacey, your message at quarter time was to respect the opposition, so that second quarter obviously didn't come as a surprise.
No, I think you're not going to see too many quarters like that from Vixens, and as you can see, the momentum of the game's going up and down. It's just who can get their composure quicker.
And that switch by the Vixens, obviously at the quarter-time break, Phillip and Bailey, they've obviously changed it back now, but did that unsettle the group?
Not unsettled. Smart coaching move by Simone. Obviously, we had some height out there and she put some movement, so we just needed to change things up, and I think we're going to fight it out to the end.
Turnovers for you, unusually high in that first half. What do you put that down to?
Oh, the defensive pressure out there is quite high, and I think, they stepped it up, and then we tried to rush things and try to make things happen. We've just got to take our time and balance and work our way to that circle.
And Jiva Mentor obviously had more of an impact in that second quarter. Caitlin looked a little off target, but she's obviously settled now.
Yeah, it doesn't. Caitlin shouldn't be out of the game for too long. She, it's tight in that circle, and she's going to be followed quite closely. So yeah, she'll be fine.
Thank you so much, Stacey.
Stacey Rosman there. Always tough to be interviewed when the game's unfolding in front of your eyes and you're trying to keep tabs on everything. Here's Bassett again from close range.
Well, she's doing a great job under the pressure, Stacey Rosman. Paying credit to her fellow coach in Simone McInnes.
You don't hear that too often. That's great.
Not at all. You don't hear that often. And if anything, it was a bit of a coaching tit for tat in that first half. It's usually left to the players on the court, but the coaches play pivotal roles as well. Decision making critical.
Middle stages of the third quarter. A 3-goal advantage in favour of the Fever. They're led by as many as 8 in the opening quarter. Vixens hit back to lead by 3. Middle stages of the second. The Fever back on top here in the third.
Wow, great defensive pressure from Jiva Mentor. Just the contact on the ball. Her reach over the ball is just sensational.
So a 4-goal edge in favour of the West Coast Fever. Let's get the thoughts of Simone McInnes, coach of the Vixens, standing by with Katie Price.
Thank you so much, John. Simone, we've seen the momentum switch again. What do you put that down to?
Really, it's the nature of the game. It's like hotly contested out there. There's pressure on, and I'm sure it'll swing again. But, yeah, a lot of hard work to be done out there for this game to be finished.
It was a coaching masterstroke at quarter time, switching Phillip and Bailey. You've obviously changed them back again. Talk us through that.
Oh, look, it is something, obviously, you practice and work with those combinations at training, and it is a nice combination. But, you know, we also want to be able to re-establish this as well, so we'll see how that works.
Defensively, you really upped the ante in that second quarter. Is that the key again to try and get on top again?
It is, and there certainly was a definite lift in that intensity and that focus in defence, but we've got to find that again, another level in that. Sort of like being too many penalties at the moment, you've got to stay in the contest and put pressure on everything. So some improvement there.
Maybe another coaching masterstroke. Thanks so much, Simone.
Thanks.
So it's a 4-goal advantage for the Fever. Vixens with possession. Just under 6 minutes out from three-quarter time.
Beautiful drive. Watson hitting circle edge.
Robinson undecided. Work from Josie Jance Dawson over the back. Done illegally.
Beside the keeper. Beside
And
her.
Bailey with a chance.
Yep.
Just to edge the Vixens a little closer. Shea Jones restarts. Active hands there from Maloney, just knocking the ball away from Watts. In a great mid-court battle. Both teams have had their moments.
Yeah, just keep your eyes defensively here. Jiva Mentor over the last 3 or 4 minutes has really started to keep her eye on the ball outside the circle. So Bianca Chatfield dropping back onto the double. And occasionally Mentor switching up, leaving Medhurst sometimes, and even going out for the hunt.
And who can hold their nerve the longest here? It's been goal for goal. They've alternated for the last 4.5 minutes. Neither team being able to stamp their authority, but maybe now the West Coast Fever will as Letton grabs the loose ball. Brazel to Shea Jones. Brown. Medhurst. Oh, Mentor read that brilliantly and knocked it down. Bassett to win it back for the Vixens.
Well, again, that's credit to Mentor. She's just coming off the player now and starting to have a look around. And the Fever to be mindful of that floating player.
Phillip, close quarters. Robinson did a good job to reel that in and now finds Bailey. It's a low-scoring affair. 33-30, the Fever lead it.
Intimidation centre.
Intimidation being called on Liz Watson.
Contact, goal defence.
Oh, a shot from Medhurst, well short, but Chatfield called the contacts. And Caitlin Bassett knocks down goal number 24. That takes her to 3,500 in the competition, second only to Romelda Aiken. So a milestone for her. And it's all about the win here at the moment. It's still well and truly up for grabs. Robinson denied a pass to Phillip. Excellent work from Josie Jance Dawson.
Absolutely. The defensive pressure then and covering both the attacking players in the circle. Very solid from the Fever. Rare that you see Robinson not able to find an option.
They've been able to maintain their lead right since half-time. And look at the intercepts there for the Fever. And a real key in this game. It's Medhurst. Restricted in the amount of ball she's had, but shooting's been outstanding.
Well, you say with those intercepts, I mentioned earlier, it is really hard to come by a clean intercept in this game, particularly under this sort of pressure. A game like today, so you've got to give credit where credit's due, and that's the Fever. Their willingness at the ball, their intent for first ball, and their clean hands has certainly put them in a commanding position at the moment.
Well, the Fever have scored back-to-back goals. First time in the last 8 minutes here. It has been a real arm wrestle. Bassett adds to that tally now. They've scored the last 3. So back to a 6-goal buffer. We started this quarter with the Fever leading by 2. The margin's been as big as 8 in the opening quarter. Again, look at the pressure from the defensive
work from the Fever. They force Phillip to fire in good range, which is equal to the challenge.
Well, it's interesting to see the Vixens shooting at just the 79-80% at the moment. The pressure that the Fever are putting on their shot, that defence over the ball, we've said before, Jiva Mentor, great ability to apply pressure over Bassett's shot. Well, the Fever are doing a good job of that as well.
The Fever just been able to sneak away from the Vixens here. 6-goal edge, a little over a minute out from three-quarter time. Oh, that's terrific work athletically from Tegan Phillip.
Well, that's been about the first time we've seen an open circle for Phillip to drive into, and she made the absolute most of it. Almost just an expected move that we see from Phillip so often through a game, only the first time today.
Medhurst hits it on the intelligent pass from Shea Brown and makes no mistake. Tegan Phillip, once was Watson. Shea Brown doing everything to try and steal that.
I'm only laughing because I looked over into the crowd and saw Mitch Brown almost stand up. He can't stand up, but he was clapping away. Very, very happy that his wife's in there contesting.
Getting good pressure from the Latin, just worried Phillip out of it. And Bailey unable to retrieve it, so big play from the Fever.
There he is, look at that big smile.
Brazel, long pass, Watts couldn't handle it, Maloney scoops up the loose ball, Watson for Phillip, Bailey lurking deep. Oh, excellent defence again from Jance Dawson. Right on the three-quarter time buzzer. Oh, that's terrific defence. Phillip has 17 goals, Bailey 15. And the Fever get us underway, enjoying a 6-goal lead. They're led by 6 at quarter time as well. Only 2 the difference at the half. It's Medhurst. Finds Brown, Bassett. Oh, excellent pass. Good teamwork. Pretty to watch from the West Coast Fever.
A great start for the Fever. The Vixens with the changes, though, in this last quarter. Jo Weston coming on to win defence, covering for Kate Maloney, who goes to the bench. So credit to K.O. Watt. She's worked her way into this game, particularly in that third quarter, finding circle edge. And Jo Weston given the nod to try and close down the Fever attack line.
Phillip wants help. Just losing the handle there, Robinson. That goes back to Phillip. To close the gap and does just that. So it's a 5-goal buffer. The Vixens, direct route from Chatfield to Bailey. Not a lot on offer though, so has to retreat to Chatfield. And again, good defensive pressure from the West Coast Fever. Liz Watson.
Offside.
You see there the Fever have also switched Metten and Jans Dawson.
Long pass for Bailey deep. And they've scored 3 without reply now, starting to mount a challenge.
Well, you get the sense that there is a scoring end this game, and that happens to be to the right of screen, favouring the Vixens in this last quarter.
Bassett under pressure from Mentor. It's been a terrific battle right throughout. And Caitlin Bassett just grabs some breathing space for the West Coast Fever. 5-goal break. A little over 2 minutes played here in this final quarter. Bailey, it's automatic there. Brazel did a great job there athletically against Robinson.
Absolutely.
Here's Chatfield from behind as well, giving Medhurst plenty to think about.
And Chatfield called for the contact there, so that'll open up the circle now for Fever.
From Bassett. Well, they've got all the answers at the moment. Been challenged and they're able to answer that challenge. Look at the Bailey.
Beautiful feed from Robinson. Not much space there to find Bailey on that baseline. And it's pinpoint accuracy.
Instruction centre.
Medhurst well positioned. High arc on the shot. Front and back of the rim. Trickles over the goal line. Mentor to restart. Chatfield. Lob pass on Maloney. In fact,
Advantage attack instruction.
Joe Weston. Bailey. Pass.
Oh, Shea Brown certainly let every opponent know where she's at today. And all over Liz Watson.
And Robinson works it down to Bailey. Back-to-back goals for the Vixens. They close to within 3. They've halved the deficit here in the first 4 minutes.
You just sense a real patience in the Vixens at the moment. I know this game doesn't need to be won in the first 5 or 6 minutes. And almost then just on cue to make me sound like a fool. The Fever come up with it.
Brazel. Brown gets it back from Medhurst. Good defensive work. Chatfield and Mentor doing a good job to deny Bassett the ball. The Fever stay strong with it.
Oh, Natalie Medhurst starting to have a little bit of impact in this final quarter. She did exactly that last week against the Thunderbirds. Stepped right up and took control.
Terrific crowd here, numbered at 3,391. Really getting behind the West Coast Fever. Another terrific start to the season. Why not? 4 wins and a draw. And the draw against the Swifts, it was 59 all. Really could have been a win for the Fever as well. There's Bassett. Sure gets her own rebound.
Well, she does have the smile on the face, but underneath that, she'll be very nervous, Caitlin Bassett.
Oh, loose ball. Letton gets a piece of it. Medhurst, lob pass. Watts, Brown. Medhurst at close quarters gets it. By Chatfield.
Well, a really important goal there for the Fever. They get to back this up now with a centre pass. The Vixens really been put under the pump. 6 goals. You can see Juva Mentor, she's thinking about it. Came up with it. Again, just ability to work her feet round. Caitlin Bassett confused the space for the feeder.
Well, the Fever have scored the last 3 goals here. Still 8.5 minutes to play. Marching at 6. Well, pass from Tegan Philp. Really didn't do Bailey too many favours there. Nicole Letton deflects it out of court.
Advantage obstruction wing.
Tegan Phillip. Phillip retreats. Chatfield. Robinson.
Advantage contact centre.
Robinson lob pass to Bailey.
Well, that was just a delightful feed again from Robinson. Ball comes straight out of the hand as soon as she saw the option on in the circle with Bailey.
Again, the Fever challenged here. Marching cut to 4. Brown couldn't get it to Medhurst initially. No contact called on Chatfield.
Well, those contacts under the post can be really damning. That's a beautiful second phase play there for the Vixens to Phillip. Yeah, just Chatfield with a couple of contacts drawing the Fever closer to the post.
Back to a 4-goal game. 7 minutes left on the clock. Brown wants Medhurst.
Needs support provided by Bassett.
Contact, goal defense.
Gets her own rebound. Chatfield came off second best in the exchange as well. They've been able to keep the Vixens at arm's length here for this quarter. It was a 6-goal advantage at the start. It's 5. Bailey says the Vixens aren't done with just yet.
And Tegan Phillip just starting to come in to this a little bit more for the Vixens. She's had a lot of ball, been the dominant feeder.
Another thrilling finish looms here. 21 of the 25 games in the ANZ Championship have been decided by single numbers or undecided in the case of the draws. And Medhurst, experience shows there. Again, it's a 5-goal edge. The Vixens just not doing enough at the moment. Still plenty of time. If you're a punter, you'd like to be on the West Coast fever.
Contact, goal defense.
Well, the Vixens have certainly tidied up their entry here to the circle. This isn't their area of concern at the moment. It is stopping this fever attacking line. Trying to come up with some answers. And again, Chatfield out of play, becoming costly for the Vixens. Their entry here to the circle. This isn't their area of concern at the moment. It is stopping this fever attacking line. Trying to come up with some answers. And again, Chatfield out of play, becoming costly for the Vixens.
Brown, Medhurst.
Contact centre.
Again, Medhurst wheels around. 5 minutes to play, extends the lead back to 5.
Still plenty of time in these 5 goals. Absolutely nothing in such a highly contested game.
Contact and defense.
Bailey just looked away from Letton.
Holding wing defense, goal
And
first.
again, the Vixens just taking the pressure off the fever with the whistle being called on those obstructions and contacts. Joe Weston the culprit on that occasion.
Obstruction, arms first.
The fans are getting excited. 5-goal margin, a little over 4 minutes left on the clock here.
Well, this is an interesting whether this is a genuine injury time. April Letton did point to her finger on what
The fever won.
I think for the height of Erin Makare, who comes on at goalkeeper. Letton one of Fever's best today, without a doubt. Uh-oh.
Ball with the goal attack.
So Robinson just catching a breath here.
Yeah, let's just have a look at this. Well, she went down before Brazel even made contact. And that is horrifying signs for Maddie Robinson at the moment, the Vixens. Although she's got a bit of movement there. She grimaced immediately, John, but that movement there probably in the right leg, which was the leg that she grabbed. Just have a look at that again. So it's a change of, oh dear, gee. Change of direction. It was definitely that right knee.
Last chance to enter during this last quarter. We'll be picking the winners. So make sure you enter.
Maddie Robinson, just 168 centimetres. She's the smallest player in the team, but her heart's certainly one of the biggest.
You can win one of 15 double passes.
Oh, actually, left knee. I'm looking at it that way, so it's her left knee.
She's been able to be assisted from the court here. Certainly able to put some weight on the leg, which is a good sign.
She goes to the bench with 4:10 left on the clock, and the Fever leading by 5. They started this quarter leading by 6, so they've been able to just hold the Vixens off at the moment.
So that brings Kate Maloney back onto the court. She's gone to centre. Liz Watson now into wing attack for the Vixens. We'll keep a close eye on the bench. Of course, Vixens fans will be very concerned, as will be Diamonds fans, no doubt. Maddie Robinson, a key player to both the Vixens and the Diamonds, so we'll see if Katie Price might be able to get something as well.
Bailey gets it from Maloney, threads the needle to Watson, exchanges passes with Phillip. Oh, 4-goal game, less than 4 minutes to play. They quickly move the ball down. Medhurst, they double-team Bassett. Medhurst turned down the shot. Chiva Mentor knocked the ball away, and here come the Vixens. Maloney.
Yeah, well, classic move there by Chatfield, applying pressure after Medhurst had stepped in.
Mentor. Liz Watson, Chatfield. Good pressure again from the West Coast Fever, just keeping the Vixens at bay momentarily. Maloney finds Bailey, wants Tegan Phillip, needs help. Maloney provides it. Now they get the shot they were after. That was good, patient ball movement.
Well, here's a moment now for the Vixens. This will really put some pressure on the Fever if they can score this one. They've come out of that timeout well composed.
Inside the last 3 minutes, they look for Bailey. Too much heat on the pass.
Well, just as we say that, I was going to say, it's always a really difficult thing to come out of a situation where one of your teammates get injured like that.
Let's get an update from Katie Price.
You just had a chat to Maddie Robinson just then. She's fairly concerned. She doesn't actually know what the problem is, but it is the right knee on the outside. As you can see, they're just icing it at the moment. So she is visibly upset, a few tears, and obviously at the moment she doesn't know quite the extent of the damage.
So it was the right.
Medhurst. She scored the last 4 goals for the West Coast Fever, Medhurst, and they lead by 4. As we count down the last 2 minutes from Perth. Brown inside of Medhurst.
Well, in the scale of things, this goal being made by the Fever, I think you get a sense that this crowd start to feel a victory coming their way. The Vixens basically have to score everything here. Can't afford an error in this last 1.5.
Well, it's back-to-back goals for the Fever for the first time in 8 minutes. A lob pass asks a lot of Bailey. Goes to Jance Dawson, equal to the challenge.
Well, another classy move by Stacey Rosman, bringing on Erin Makaire to contend with Bailey's height. She's just had a win there, and she'll be sitting on that bench right now. I've just had a look at her. She's looked up at the scoreboard, and the book has now officially closed, and the smile is on Stacey Rosman's face.
This is now Jance Dawson, Medhurst. We're going to enjoy the last minute here in Perth. The home fans are loving it. And Bassett to put some icing on the cake.
Well, the Fever were definitely challenged in that second quarter by the Vixens, but they came out in the third, remained composed, and are doing exactly that here in this last.
Well, they've thrown the switch to celebration mode here. They've scored the last 4 goals. And after they were challenged by the reigning champs, the Melbourne Vixens, the West Coast Fever have answered that challenge. And it's going to be a rare victory for them against their nemesis from Melbourne. Phillip from good range. Wait for the fans to erupt here. Medhurst. And that is all. Finishing touches from Caitlin Bassett, not required.